Yo, Inca, you want to come out here?
Okay, this is a members only video, and I'm recording it pretty late at night, not gonna lie to you, but let's say for all intents and purposes, you know, I was gonna make this about just me talking about stuff while playing VGC, but I think I'm just gonna go ahead and give you guys the secret sauce, excuse me, to how I make FFA sets and how easy it is to really come up with creative FFA sets. Because not everybody is, you know, gonna know the exact same knowledge I do. So we're on Showdown. And let's just say, for instance, I want to make a really funny Pokemon. The objective of making FFA sets is not just making them, oh, let's say like Dragonite is mostly physical, let's make him special, right? No, that's not the point. The point is to make something fun that everybody can enjoy, but also the main objective is, of course, to win while having fun. You don't want to just put double team on something or just throw sand attack or mud slap on something all the time. You want to do something that's more creative than just the standard norm of things. And I'm not saying that, you know, those kind of sets can't be fun, but they'll often leave a sour taste in some people's mouths, you know? Let's take a new Pokemon like Iron Leaves, right? We can flip this to be special, right? But it only just gets Calm Mind, Air Slash, you know, it gets all the Virizion moves, but doesn't get anything too crazy. So what happens if we just made it a physical Pokemon, but made it a little bit interesting? So let me show you how to do that. So first and foremost, Iron Leaves is Grass Psychic. So the big thing that we want to go ahead and do is make sure that it has one of its stabs, probably its Psychic Stab. You're not going to really see a lot of Grass Stab more than likely, unless you absolutely need it, right? So by that logic, we're going to go ahead and just look through. It doesn't have a lot of Psychic Stab, it's like Psycho Blade, Psyblade, I think it is. And then like Calm Mind and like Agility. So realistically, just have this move on here. Good stab, does what it needs to do. The second objective is, what do you want to do with this Pokemon? Because if I want to make something funny, then I want to make something that hurts people, but also is kind of just stupid at the same time. So I put Taunt, everything under the sun. And then by that point, I'm kind of like, well, I think there's another amount of things that I can do with this set, you know what I mean? So go ahead and do Psychic Terrain. So now it's really boosted. And by that logic, now we're going to do something even crazier. So with that, we're going to go ahead and let's just say, for instance, we want to just give it something stupid, right? So this logic, we give it Magical Leaf, we give it Imprison. Imprison is probably a funnier move, and let's say we get rid of Psychic Terrain, let's go with Protect, right? All of this is going to be really funny when you really think about it. So now that we have the set basically completed, now we have to devise EVs. And I play at level 100, so this is level 100. If you play at level 50, that's fine too, but I'm going with level 100 here, excuse me. I only have one move, but I'm really just here to be annoying. So objectively, I have to go with an equally stupid item here. So you can go with Leftovers, you can give it Rocky Helmet just to be an annoyance. My favorite thing to do is get a one-time item and see how well it does. Or I give it a boosting item, or just some other random bullshit that I can think of, because that's usually what I do with a lot of my sets. It's just random at the end of the day, but also just like, you know, it can be somewhat funny. It's kind of like you go to the useless moves or useless items, give it a ring target. What is this immune to? I don't think there's anything like this is really just immune to. Or you like a focus band, maybe it'll proc that one time you need it to. Especially for me, this could be really, really fucking stupid. But I'll go with a Twisted Spoon. And then I want to be as non-threatening as possible. Or if my Quark Drive ever gets popped, I want to make sure it doesn't pop attack or speed. That'll make me an automatic threat. So I have it boosting, you know, like defense or something rather than attack. Which is hard enough to do because this is a raid Pokemon by technicality. So you really have to consider what it is you want to do. So with that, I had to stop playing the music that was in my ear for a minute because it's getting kind of loud. By that logic though, I could probably try to get Spadef to be boosting, or I could just leave attack as non-boosting, or I can boost my defense enough to be Impish Nature and see how much it takes. It takes a lot of defense, but at the end of the day, I'm getting my defense boost in case Quark Drive ever gets popped. Now, I really don't care for speed. Anything that's like base 100 or above, I usually want to hit 300 or 275. I like to go by the 5 and 0 rule, and every 25 I like to go up by. Like this would go down to 350. This can stay around here. Can't boost our attack, so we have to go into the Spadef. And then that's really it. A really stupid enough set that probably makes no sense to you guys. But to me, this tells me I'm defensive enough to take any knockoff or any dark attack. And all I have to do is make sure I'm not fighting a bunch of dark types. And I get to imprison protect. So that means everybody has to keep attacking people, which is the main objective of the set, to be violent. I'll make it Terra Psychic just because it's a lot better this way. And then we'll just call this something along the lines of, well, I couldn't tell you a name right now, but I usually do my names towards the end anyway. So let's find a really dumber Pokemon to go ahead and fuck around with. And I usually just keep scrolling until I find something that really catches my eye that I haven't made yet. Or even if I have made it, I want to make it different. So I summon like Grumpig, another Psychic type, sure. But look at this, he's thick fat. I can take full advantage of this and make him Terra Grass. And just fuck around with this Pokemon so that I can't get like spored or anything, right? And he gets some grass moves, you know, gets Grass Knot, Seed Bomb, Trailblaze and stuff like that. So we can make him a fast Grumpig that's really just an annoying bastard. We're probably going to stick with special attack, not Spadef, excuse me. Special attacking set, so easily go with Grass Knot. We'll pick up Nasty Plot in the meantime, and then we'll bring some like Nightshade and we'll do leftovers. So at least I'm taking advantage of my own ability, and at the same time, doesn't matter. I'm just a stupid enough set. So this could be like anything I want it to be. Even if it wasn't Terra Grass, I could be Terra Ground, take advantage of Thick Fat. I could be Terra Ice, take advantage of Thick Fat, doesn't matter. I just have to think of some concept that's stupid enough to work. And this looks like it's stupid enough to work, you know what I mean? So I want to make sure that I can boost up and be a certain amount of special attack to a point where I'm actually a good enough threat. Even if my Grass Knot isn't going to kill you, it's still going to do a lot. And with that, I want to make sure that I'm also defensive enough to take at least one attack. And if I never get to Terra this, then at least I want to make sure that I'm doing good with this Pokemon. So by that, you can see how much Modest is, which I believe is like 306. Yep, there it is. So it's 279 Modest, so we can make it 275. Well, 279 without being Modest. So then I'll go down 275 on the 5 and 0 rule. I'll go up to 200 speed. Just slightly. Then can I get this to be 200 defense? Yes, I can. Since when it comes to level 100 Pokemon in general, you always want to see which stat is lower and then boost that a bit. This is like a clear example, right? 8 HP, 65 defense, 110 Spadef. You're not boosting Spadef, you're probably boosting HP and defense more often than not, because you can deal with the Spadef later. And the 220 can go down to 196 to 350, so I'm still within that rule. And then I can just boost the little Spadef. This would usually be 260s to follow the 0 and 5 rule, but for now there's nothing else I need to boost, so I can just leave it down here. And then that's Grumpig. Real easy. He doesn't need to be shiny. I just made him shiny because I like the shiny version, but he doesn't need to be shiny just because he's a grass type, so at least, you know, it doesn't like yellow just makes it seem like it's an electric Grumpig, which I could still do, but I think this set is stupid enough to work a little bit. And I don't really need attack Trailblaze just to get the speed, because 200 times 1.5 is always 300, and that means I'm outpacing 295s and 298s, which is really, really funny just to know offhand. And that kind of thing is just like, I just know speed tiers and stuff like that offhand. Now we're gonna make an NFE Pokemon. I always try to make like 2 of those. Sometimes only 1, depending on how much I feel like I want to make one. Not a lot of crazy ones this generation, unfortunately, that I haven't made. So we'll go with Magneton, for instance. Really, this is the GOAT right here. Shiny Magneton looks baller, so we're gonna make that. And honestly, after that, you really just go from there. And like, I'm not trying to make a decent Pokemon. I'm trying to make something that looks fun to use and fun to like meme with. Like Grumpig, I'll be probably Nightshade. I'll Nightshade a few times. I might Trailblaze towards the end of a game, and then maybe I'll Nasty Plot, and I might just be the fastest thing on the field, and I'll be able to grass out everything. Like, just really fun set. Iron Leaves is mostly just to be a dickhead for people who use Protect and Taunt a lot, or at least Protect a lot. So then I just have to make sure I stay alive. Magneton is just realistically gonna be like a stupider Pokemon, where you might argue that, oh wow, that's really original, every normal gem plus this, and it isn't. It's not original at all, but the way I can get it done, who knows. And obviously I'm not Eviolite, so I have to be very, very aware that I can very much just die at any given point in time, just because I am, once again, not Eviolite. Electric Steel, got a good chunk of weaknesses, you know. But if I make it so that I never lose this Pokemon and I save it towards the end, then logically no one should be killing it. Logically. People still can, obviously. It's definitely a thing I've had happen where people will kill Pokemon early or get someone out of the FFA early. And it's like, sometimes it's really funny and sometimes it's just like, why would you fucking do that? But that's their own prerogative at the end of the day. I can't stop you. I can only tell you that that's just kind of weird. Like, I get that, like, you're trying to have fun and I'm trying to have fun. At the end of the day, you really have to value what you consider to be fun. So just keep that in mind whenever you're like FFAing with even just like your friends, for instance, you know, or even just, you know, battling with me, for instance, if you're ever on the channel. You know, I'm trying to have as much fun as you are. I'm trying to make sure that no one gets like really, like, I wouldn't say butthurt for that instance. I would say just upset, you know, rightfully upset too. I want people to get upset about somebody doing something and then they're trying to justify it the whole way down. It's like, no, I want you to have a good time. And that's why I make FFAs, or well, realistically, these FFA sets. They're not there to win. They are there to have fun. And if I can win, I will try to. But at the end of the day, I'm always trying to make, you know, stupider, more ridiculous sets than I'm supposed to, mostly because the sets are, while interesting, they are certainly sets that I would consider just like, you know, funny sets, you know. They don't do much, you know, I'm not using these for raids or whatever have you, but they're funny enough to me to where I, you know, at the end of the day, as long as I have some amount of fun, that's the main point of the set. And I think that gets lost in some FFA. In some FFAs, some people are trying to, you know, instill some sort of rules or trying to make sure that certain people, you know, they get the, you know, you get your lick back, you know, you make sure that person doesn't have fun the next time they battle, which, you know, all is fair in love and war, but at the same time, you want to make sure that you don't do that all the time. Sometimes you just got to be like, you know what, I'm going to grow up today and I'm going to not do that. Or sometimes you just want to just, you know, have fun rather than trying to instill this kind of fear into people about, oh my God, you know, next time I'm going to get you. It's like, oh, we're just having fun on a stupid ass game. Don't do that. You know what I mean? But that's just how I feel about FFAs in general. I'm trying to have fun and I'm never actually getting mad. I don't think any of you guys who are channel members, and obviously this video will probably go up as well on the channel regularly, but you guys will get to see this first. This will be like a Monday-ish video where I just talk and ramble about stuff because, you know, obviously, you know, I want to make sure everyone can hear this kind of information, but this is going first for you guys. From a practical standpoint, I want to make sure that my content can be seen and making sure that people are having fun. I don't want people to, you know, not have fun with the content. I want to make sure that you guys are like enjoying what you're seeing, but I also want to make sure that everyone's having fun. You know, we can all have a really good time, but at the same time, I want to make sure that not just you guys, but making sure that it's entertaining to watch in general. You know, all my friends are good people at the end of the day, but you know, sometimes they can annoy me too. It happens, you know. It kind of just happens that way. And sometimes you have to just sit everyone down like, hey, we can keep doing this, but we have to be mindful of our behavior, because, you know, I'm putting out a product at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Not to get all like kind of crazy about content creation or whatever, but I am putting out a product at the end of the day, you know what I mean? I'm trying to make sure that that product is being seen, you know, in a nice fashion. I'm not trying to have, you know, people take after me and then I get blamed because, you know, somebody somewhere is doing FFAs a certain way, and then they're coming to my FFAs and then doing it a different way. And I'm like, bro, what are we fucking doing? You know what I mean? Like, I want to have fun just like everybody else, but I also want to make sure that no one's getting like destroyed for, simply put, you know, trying to have fun in their own way. I want everyone to have fun in their own way, but I want to make sure that everybody understands that we all have different definitions of how to have fun. And that's all I really want at the end of the day, if I'm being honest with you. And I mean, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You know, some people have different ways of having fun. Some people have different ways of doing anything. So I have to be very mindful of, you know, everybody in general, you know what I mean? So I just thought that would be really something that I should tell you guys, you know, up front, you know, like, you know, I'm not just getting angry at people for no reason sometimes. And sometimes, you know, we're just in the heat of the moment. We get, you know, a little bit loud and obnoxious, and that happens from time to time. But in general, you know, if you're bringing unfun sets, there's a high likelihood that while you might think that, oh man, you know, he doesn't want me back in this FFA, he doesn't want me back in his FFAs, just ask. Because there's probably a high likelihood that that's not true. But if you feel like you were doing something that people were not enjoying and you want to ask me that question, go right ahead. I'll tell you, and I'll be genuinely honest. You know what I mean? But don't ask me for honesty if you're not ready for that same honesty. I just want that to be very, very clear at the end of the day. Because I don't want anyone to be like, oh my God, you know, he said this about me. And it's like, well, if you're asking me, I'm going to give you that response. I'm going to give you that. And like, you know, if you ever want to join the server and do FFAs, just be mindful that we all have different definitions of how to have fun. At the end of the day, I'm still trying to put out a product that looks nice to the majority of people, not just to small niches of friends that are a part of this entire community. You know what I mean? And that's a really big part of this that I want to make sure that is known. You know what I mean? But, you know, sometimes that gets lost in translation. You know, not everybody is, you know, they're not all familiar with each other. Not everybody's looking to have fun the same ways, but at least me making this video and making sure that people hear it is better than just, you know, not saying anything at all. There will be times where some people will not be in FFAs solely on the basis that we were not having fun with what was going on at the time. And we want to make sure that you have some time to think about what you did. Because, you know, sometimes you see people respond really quickly and then you're just like, ah, man, I really want them in the FFA again after last time. I really want people to really hear that moment there. I really want you to hear me say that. Really watch the FFAs back and really think to yourself, you know, was this good overall from not your own point of view, but just overall, you know, because I just being blatant once again. I'm putting out a product and I'm being very open about this, because usually I wouldn't, you know, I usually would never say this out loud, but I'm putting out a product. I want to make sure said product is good to see. And if it's not good to see, then I have to figure out why that is. And you can think about this however you want, or you don't. Really think about it. You know, if you're in my content time to time and then you miss out on a few videos and you come back for a few videos, really think about, how did that happen? How did I get here? Why is this happening? Because I'll tell you, you know what I mean? Anybody can ask me. I will for sure tell you. Just be very mindful of the way that you do things. Be very mindful of the way that you say things. And be very mindful that at the end of the day, I'm recording. I want to make sure that people enjoy the content that's being put out. They actually enjoy watching the content, because no matter what, they're gonna like it. But if there's any sense that, you know, things aren't going right, you know, anyone can see that happening. You know, you can smell the discomfort in a lot of rooms if something's going wrong in an FFA, if I'm being honest. End of the day, I just want people to let it be known that right now there's nobody that this is affecting. None of you are doing anything currently that would be considered uncomfortable or uncomfy to the point where I don't want you in FFAs. However, just keep that in mind. Should something happen and someone doesn't feel comfortable with somebody else, because that's a very real thing that can happen. And I will just tell you outright, it has. And I'm not gonna just talk about it. I'm not gonna go into it. And I wouldn't say uncomfortable really, I would say more or less, once the point of having fun is not there and it's just people that are angrily playing and just waiting until it's over so they can just leave call, it's like, why in the first place was I here to record them? You know, I want to make sure that we record, but also making sure, obviously, that it goes well, that there's nothing that I have to edit out really meticulously, or that I can at least just use the video. Because at the end of the day, I want to use the video. If I can't use the fucking video, what am I fucking doing? You know what I mean? Why am I recording at that point? It's not like worth it at all if I can't use the video, if it's just going to be a bunch of nonsense or something that is not enjoyable for me to listen back to. Because I listen to all my videos straight through. I don't just render them afterwards. I listen to all of them. So I know if I were to watch this video, objectively, of course, would I enjoy this? And sometimes it's a no, but sometimes it's a yes. And when those times happen where it's a no, I kind of just am like, do I feel like re-recording this, or do I feel like this will still be a fine video to put out, but I need to make sure that X, Y, and Z doesn't happen? It's usually that option, you know, making sure certain things don't happen again. Like, I get it. Not everyone has that kind of mentality where they are, you know, trying to make sure everything goes smoothly. You know what I mean? I completely understand that. Because not everyone's seeing it from a content creator standpoint, you know. But it is what it is at the end of the day. And I don't know how long that has been like that, but I'll probably just have something over that, I guess. Regardless, I feel like, you know, there's a lot to be said about if, you know, certain people find things a certain way, or how things can be misinterpreted, or rather interpreted poorly, you know. But like I said, no one has done anything that would make things worse right now, but I am just putting out a warning before it ever happens, you know, nipping it in the bud before something could possibly ever happen. Just be aware of how you interact, be aware of how you do things, because I'm a very angry person sometimes, and I'm a very nonchalant, like, I kind of say things and then I look back and then I apologize. Like, I say things without thinking a lot of the time, so I want to make sure that that doesn't happen to somebody because they didn't simply watch this video or anything like that, or they don't care or whatever have you. Like, if you don't care, then you might as well not be in my fucking videos at the end of the day. Just, you know, once again, objectively, you shouldn't be in my videos if you don't care. Like, I want to make sure I'm making good content, and if you're not there for that, you should just fuck off at that point. But that's nor here nor there, obviously. But yeah, I don't know what I'm going to have to edit and post, because I don't know how long it was on my stream loading screen when I wasn't streaming at all, but I'll fix that in post, or I'll put something there. But thank you guys for watching this, you know, and leave a comment if, you know, you understand what I'm saying, or just leave comments just in general, you know, your opinions, your thoughts on, you know, just FFAs and my culture, or my just like a opinion behind how people should have some sort of etiquette when it comes to FFAs, I guess you should say. I don't know. This is kind of just a spur of the moment idea, because I was just kind of thinking about all the times where FFAs have gone really well, no doubt, but there's always some aspects that I really want to have never happen again. And I'm really hoping that people really do, you know, just take some time, you know, really think if there's anything that really happened, and really just, you know, heed my warning, because I don't have to tell somebody that you're fucking anything up, because that would just be, you know, diabolical, I guess you could say. But it also just be like, I'm trying to tell you to stop being yourself, when at the end of the day, I'm just telling you, hey, there's something that you're doing that I'm not enjoying, you know. But at the end of the day, I can't control how people react to things. I can't control how people react to this. But thank you guys for watching. If you guys like this, like, comment, subscribe. Obviously this went up for members first, but now everyone else will be able to see this. This will go up Friday for members, and then obviously Monday when everyone else is seeing this, and then you'll have FFAs on Wednesday and Friday for this upcoming week. I'm only saying this because, like, obviously I have to make sure that I get up videos, since me and Victoria are moving to a new place on the 8th, which is a Saturday of April. And we have to make sure that, or at least I have to make sure that my content has already been recorded, rendered, and put on the channel, at least like in general. So I have to make sure I'm up to date with things. But thank you guys for watching. I'll talk to you guys next time. Peace.